Before we begin today's video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us bring more true, powerful stories from Hollywood's hidden corners. Now, let's step into the life of a man whose quiet strength shaped generations. For decades, Ron Howard appeared untouched by the darker shadows of fame. His gentle voice, soft smile, and calm presence made him feel almost unshakable. But behind that steady image, he carried battles he never spoke about. Recently, he finally opened up, revealing truths heavier than anyone expected. This is the side of Ron Howard the world never saw. Ronald William Howard was born on March 1, 1954, in Duncan, Oklahoma. He entered the world with two actor parents who carried both dreams and struggles. Their small home echoed with creativity, ambition, and financial uncertainty. Ron didn't just grow up around show business, he grew up inside it. Before he could form memories, he was already being shaped for the camera. At just 18 months, he appeared in Frontier Woman, unaware of the life ahead. It was the start of a journey that would define his entire identity. And one he would later admit he never fully chose. When the Howards moved to California in the late 1950s, everything changed. Scripts replaced storybooks, and auditions became part of daily life. Ron's father balanced military duties while coaching Ron on early roles. His childhood existed between rehearsals, sets, and studio hallways. While other kids learned to ride bikes, Ron learned to hit his marks. He spent more time under bright lights than in neighborhoods or parks. This early life felt safe yet strangely confining, a golden cage. One he wouldn't understand until adulthood. Everything shifted on October 3, 1960, when the Andy Griffith Show premiered. Ron, barely 6, became Opie Taylor, the boy America instantly fell in love with. He became a national symbol of innocence, charm, and purity. But while viewers adored him, Ron faced a quieter, lonelier reality. He studied in tiny rooms near Stage 40 while other kids played outside. Math lessons happened as studio equipment rolled past him. Lunch breaks were shared with grown actors, not children his age. He belonged to the audience, but never fully to himself. His father guided him with firm, protective wisdom every day. He insisted Ron perform with honesty, not manufactured cuteness. This shaped Ron's entire artistic identity for life. But it couldn't shield him from the emotional strain of early fame. Wounds formed quietly, wounds Ron admits never fully healed. America saw a happy boy, but behind the scenes lived a pressured child. A child carrying responsibilities he never asked for. A child who didn't yet know what those pressures would cost him. As Ron grew into his teenage years, the world focused only on his success. But inside, the expectations were carving deeper and deeper. After Andy Griffith ended in 1968, Ron felt strangely older than 14. He had lived 8 seasons in a fictional town yet missed real childhood moments. His education was split between Burbank schools and rushed tutoring sessions. He studied while props were moved, lines rehearsed, and cameras prepared. Fame had become normal, even as it quietly weighed on him. He didn't know yet how long that weight would stay. During The Music Man in 1962, Ron had a moment he never forgot. At age 8, he panicked over a dance routine he couldn't master. He whispered to Shirley Jones, "I can't do it, Shirley." She comforted him, and the production filmed from the knees up to hide mistakes. Millions praised his performance, unaware of the fear behind it. Those hidden anxieties followed him into adulthood. He learned to act confident even when he wasn't. A skill that later became both useful and destructive. Then came Happy Days in 1974, another major turning point. At 19, he walked into Gary Marshall's office, unaware of what awaited him. Richie Cunningham became his identity for a second time. America saw him as dependable, wholesome, and clean-cut. But Ron felt trapped inside yet another version of who the world wanted him to be. By 23, he was still playing a teenager on screen. He began to feel stuck, invisible, and unfulfilled. He wanted to grow, but Richie wouldn't let him. In 1977, Ron tried to add realism by requesting a Vietnam-related storyline. ABC rejected it, wanting to keep Richie perfect and untouched. The refusal deepened his frustration and sense of confinement. Every day he felt more disconnected from the character he portrayed. This emotional suffocation pushed him toward a life-changing discovery. If he wanted to reclaim himself, he needed to escape acting's limitations. Directing wasn't a fantasy, it was survival. A way to finally steer his own life. His escape arrived when Roger Corman offered him an unusual deal. Star in Eat My Dust, and he could direct his own film. Ron accepted immediately, not for fame, but for freedom. That film became Grand Theft Auto, co-written with his father. They shot it with a tiny budget and destroyed 70 cars on screen. Against all odds, the movie earned $15 million. For the first time, Ron felt true creative control. A feeling he had craved his entire life. But that control came with a new kind of pressure. Directing awakened a hunger for perfection he couldn't ignore. He obsessed over details, pacing, casting, and execution. Each project raised expectations from studios and audiences. Night Shift, Splash, Cocoon, Willow, each success made the pressure heavier. He became someone who couldn't turn off the responsibility. Someone always chasing excellence, afraid to disappoint. And that fear soon pushed him too far. In 1995, Ron took on Apollo 13, one of his most demanding films. Determined to honor the astronauts, he refused shortcuts or compromises. The team filmed 612 zero-gravity sequences inside NASA's Vomit Comet. Each one lasted just 23 seconds, requiring endless resets and focus. He recreated mission control with real NASA panels bought for $1 each. Every switch, every light, every flight call had to be exact. Ron worked 18-hour days for 3 straight months. Until finally, his body collapsed. Severe dehydration, hypertension, and total burnout brought filming to a halt. Production paused for 36 hours while Ron recovered. When he returned, the entire crew wore shirts reading Mission Control. It was their quiet message of loyalty and respect. But behind his smile, Ron felt a truth he'd been avoiding. He had crossed lines no director should cross. He had pushed himself past the point of safety. And it wouldn't be the last time. The greatest burden he carried wasn't from Hollywood. It came from a choice he made in 1991, one he regrets deeply. That year, his daughter Jocelyn had just been born. His career was rising, and life looked promising. But a 6-month shoot for Far and Away took him to Ireland. Ron left Cheryl alone with their newborn twins and young daughter Bryce. He thought it was just another job, until he came home. And realized the damage. Jocelyn didn't recognize him. Bryce didn't react. And Cheryl looked exhausted beyond words. Ron later said that moment shattered something inside him. He realized success meant nothing if it cost him his family's presence. He promised never to disappear like that again. But perfectionism is a hard cycle to break. Life would test him again. In 2005, during Cinderella Man reshoots, the old pattern returned. Ron worked endlessly, sleeping just a few hours a night. He was consumed by scenes, decisions, and expectations. And again, he came home to a family who had grown without him. Missed milestones. Missed moments. Missed memories. It forced him to confront what he'd avoided for years. The pressure he felt since childhood still controlled him. Even in adulthood, he couldn't say no. By 2025, during their 50th anniversary, he spoke a hard truth. While dedicating a bench to the high school where he met Cheryl, he admitted it openly. He would trade every award he ever earned to get back lost time. Every hit film, every accolade, every dollar, none of it compared. His greatest regret wasn't a movie mistake or career failure. It was the moments with his children he could never relive. The years spent away chasing perfection. The years he can never get back. But Ron's story doesn't just revolve around work and family. There's another bond that shaped him long before Hollywood success. His relationship with his younger brother, Clint Howard. Clint, known for quirky roles and unforgettable character appearances. But to Ron, he was something deeper, his anchor in a strange world. The only person who understood the pressure of growing up on sets. The only one who shared the same childhood rhythms. The one friend he never had to impress. The brothers were inseparable growing up. They passed each other in hallways lined with cables and hot lights. They filmed in neighboring studios, often only steps apart. They earned money before they could spell it. Shared scripts before they shared real childhood adventures. They were colleagues before they were even old enough to be kids. Their bond became the emotional foundation of Ron's life. A constant reminder that he wasn't alone. But adulthood hit Clint harder than anyone expected. During the 1980s, as Ron's directing career soared, Clint spiraled. Cocaine and alcohol pulled him toward a dangerous collapse. Ron was terrified, unsure how to save him. In 1990, he gave Clint a painful ultimatum: get help or lose the relationship. Clint chose rehab and began rebuilding his life. Their memoir The Boys later revealed the depth of their struggle. Honesty and love became the glue that saved them. Now, years later, Ron faces a fear he never imagined. Clint has been battling a serious health condition. Ron has kept the details private, but his voice says enough. This isn't a small illness, it's life-altering. The kind that rearranges days and steals peace quietly. Ron, a man used to solving problems, suddenly feels helpless. He can't yell cut or rewrite this ending. He can only hope. For the first time in decades, Ron admits he is afraid. Not of critics, failure, or Hollywood pressure. But of losing the brother who walked every path beside him. The boy who shared studio classrooms and whispered conversations. The man who survived addiction and fought his way back. The person who knew the real Ron long before the world did. This fear has changed him more than any career moment. It has shifted his entire perspective on life. Ron spends nights awake replaying childhood memories. The tiny tutoring room at Desilu Studios. The quiet exchanges between scenes. The early mornings on backlots that smelled of paint and metal. Clint's presence always made the hard days bearable. Those memories were once sweet, now they feel heavy. Because they remind him of what he might lose. And of what he never wants to say goodbye to. Ron also revealed a guilt he carried for years. While his career skyrocketed, Clint was fighting demons alone. Ron missed signs he wishes he had seen sooner. He regrets the years when success pulled him away from family. He regrets the silences, the distance, the busy schedules. He regrets not protecting Clint earlier. These regrets followed him long after the applause faded. And they still haunt him today. This crisis forced Ron to rethink everything. He turned down long productions that required months away from home. He reduced his involvement in Imagine Entertainment. He chose family dinners over studio meetings. He stayed close to the people who needed him most. He finally learned that presence matters more than perfection. That life is bigger than box office numbers. And that love is his true legacy. For the first time, Ron embraced the silence between projects. He allowed himself time to breathe, reflect, and reconnect. He realized he had spent a lifetime telling the world stories. But rarely told his own. He had become a narrator for others but a stranger to himself. This chapter forced him to slow down and feel everything he once ignored. Pain, fear, gratitude, and love all hitting at once. All demanding attention. At 71, with a $200 million legacy behind him, Ron is different now. His priorities have shifted from accolades to meaningful moments. He values slow mornings, simple meals, and family closeness. He understands the fragility of life more than ever before. The man once defined by non-stop work now cherishes stillness. He is learning to be present, not perfect. To let go instead of control. To love without rushing. For fans, the revelation wasn't that Ron faced struggles. It was that he carried them alone for so many years. His kindness, patience, and gentle humor hid deeper wounds. Wounds from childhood fame, lost time, and family fear. People often see Hollywood legends as untouchable. But Ron's story proves even the strongest souls break quietly. And sometimes, the softest voices carry the heaviest truths. Truths he finally feels ready to share. Ron Howard's journey is not one of simple success. It is a story of pressure, triumph, regret, and redemption. A life shaped by cameras yet scarred by the cost behind them. A man who gave the world iconic stories while losing moments at home. A brother who watched Clint fight, fall, and rise again. A father who learned too late what time truly means. A husband who found strength in forgiveness and love. And a man who now chooses presence over perfection. That brings us to the end of today's story. Ron Howard's journey is a reminder that even gentle souls carry heavy battles. Tell us in the comments. Which part of Ron's story touched you the most? Don't forget to like this video, your support keeps us going. Share it with someone who loves Hollywood stories with heart. And make sure to subscribe for more true, emotional journeys like this one. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next story.